I was working as a swatch designer. I just wasn't making enough money. We were at this, I was probably mid-20s by then and thinking about, having a mortgage and a house and, children and stuff. And there was just no way that what I was earning was gonna ever make a living. So I ended up getting a job at John Lewis, lovely John Lewis, in the blinds and trimmings department, which is it was wallpaper, curtains, blinds, cushions. So it was sort of textile-y. And I did that for about a year. So I kind of felt it sat with me okay because I was earning money and still managing to stroke fabric every day and go and plump up some pretty cushions and things. At the same time, I used to sit in the evenings and play with crochet and knitting and stuff, and also create things too. Like people would commission me to make things for them, just to try and make a little bit more money. I remember doing a whole series of little knitted slippers for babies when I worked with Debbie Bliss. She used to do these little bunny slippers, and I used to have this production line of slippers just to make probably about a tenner, just to get a little bit more money. Definitely what I wanted. I absolutely was going for it. And then as soon as I got it, I was kind of like, oh, what have I done? Because it was suddenly, it wasn't workshops. I didn't really have time for many workshops. It was timesheets and spreadsheets and lots of traveling and lots of phone calls to managers of shops and working out, who's gone sick, who's done. And also taking on the stresses of your team as well. So if your team was stressed, and I'd never been in a position where I dealt with that kind of thing before. I'd always, floated into a workshop to people who wanted to be there all day, taught them nice fuzzy things, and then came away again. So being in a management role for me was it was a disaster. And I think I lasted probably about a year. That was probably, the worst year of my life. It really was. No, it honestly was. I started getting panic attacks and all, really bad, really bad. And I think a lot of it was taking on the responsibility of other people's lives and being aware that, what I was doing had an effect on them. Found it really difficult and was not creative at all. I couldn't knit, I couldn't crochet, I wasn't really interested in any of it at all. And it took a long time. Oh, that sounds all really deep now. I'm kind of like, oh, don't know where that came from. But yeah, it sapped my creativity, absolutely. And yet it was absolutely what I'd wanted, which is really weird, isn't it, how that works out? So I went along to a learn to crochet workshop. I had done it already. I'd done like little edgings and things as part of my degree, some of my swatches in my degree. But yeah, I went along to this workshop and came away with a migraine and a 5-pointed granny square. Just like I was like, this is not for me. I don't understand it. I don't understand. And I think I actually left. I left early as well. I was like, got to about 3:30, and I was like, no, this is not for me. I'm going home. I can't do it. Got a migraine. I'm going. But I think the thing that got me about crochet is that technical side of it. Like, actually, if you think about it, you've got a hook and a piece of yarn, and if you draw yarn through that hook in, all the loops on your hook enough times, you can create a fabric. And what I absolutely loved about crochet was the way it's often done in the round, organic, little, portable. I could do a few rounds and chop a color out and add another one in. So it just grabbed me. It absolutely grabbed me. And from there on, I kind of felt that with the knitwear, when I did the knitwear degree, I'd always felt like I was all right at it. I was okay, but I wasn't amazing at any of it. It was quite, and when I look back at it now, actually look at my portfolio and my final projects and stuff, I think, oh, God. So yeah, I just felt that once I started crocheting, it was my thing. Actually, if I did crochet all day, Yeah, I'd probably have a hunchback and be blind in one eye.
That would be a look, wouldn't it?
So some designs, like a really simple one, like I've got on the back of my chair, this one, which is Mystical Lanterns, that was just to do with the shape of, it was to do with the shape, tessellating shapes and working out how that would work in crochet. So sometimes it's tessellations and an existing pattern, but a lot of what I do is actually based in, it links to artists a lot of the time. So when I did my degree, we had to do history of art as part of the degree, and we had to do a thesis and all that sort of stuff. And when I was a kid, my mum was really great at taking me to exhibitions and all sorts. I can remember standing in front of Matisse's, you know, when I was probably about 9 and thinking, flipping heck, you know, colour, amazing. And I think I like to root my projects in something like that. So I've done a whole, since 2019, I've based a lot of my designs on the arts and crafts movement. I'm kind of moving away from that now. I feel like I've done that. But so to begin with, one of the first ones I did, Climbing Rose, was based on William Morris's Strawberry Thief design. And then a year later I did Fruit Garden, which was based on May Morris, his daughter. It was based on one of her embroideries. And then this latest one, which is behind me, Spirit of Flora, was based on the work of William de Morgan, who was a arts and crafts ceramicist. And what I like about doing that is it gives me a chance to indulge myself in my love of history of art. But it also, I love to pass that on to the people making it, so that they can say to their friends, oh, well, you know, this is based on the work of William de Morgan, and I've been and looked at his work in the V&A, or I've got a book out the library about him, or I just love that.